But you know what the reason why I expect the worst out of people?
Go for it.
Because it saves lives. It saves lives. I'm always I'm trying to be always on the lookout.
I'm mad at that.
Yeah, it's a lot of stress. I understand that. It's a lot of fucking stress. But I mean, if you live a certain way, if you do certain jobs, you have to expect the worst out of certain people, out of everybody that you encounter. It helps a lot.
It helps a lot, but it also disconnects you from certain situations.
Yes, definitely.
From seeing it. You know what it is? That's like one of those defense mechanisms that you built out of necessity.
Yeah.
But after a while, it outlives its use. I was having this conversation with a therapist, and I said to him, I have a lot of that shit too. For example, if something traumatic happens to me, it's like, cool, I can't control it, keep it moving. Which is a functional thing to do when you need it. When you got to make ends meet, I got to take care of my mom. I don't have time to unpack the bullshit that I've been through in my childhood or my dad or any of that stuff. I got to keep it pushing, right? The problem is once you're no longer in that state, you hold on to that and it stops you from experiencing other things in life that you should.
Yeah, but you have
it's like, and here's the example I gave him. I said, it's like a war robot. You know, you're built for one thing, to go to war. Then the war ends, you're just like, well, all I've ever done is war. How do I go and be a civilian? Military people suffer from that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
They've built all their habits, and they have a hard time transitioning to civilian life because they've only known to do things one way, which is great for the military. But once you're back in a regular life, it doesn't translate well. Yeah, so you got to eventually learn to let go of certain things.
Absolutely. I understand what you're saying. You're perfectly right.
Yeah.
You know, but you have to, the way I do it, I try to have a balance with it, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm probably not. Okay? Let's put it out there. I'm not right about that. But it prevents me from a lot of bullshit.
Sure.
It's every time that you're right about something, you're like, okay, at least I know. And then I keep it moving, keep it pushing. When people fucking, well, oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm like, yeah, I could believe. All right, let's move on to other shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I give chances, knowing that it might fuck up. You know what I mean? So I'm willing to go out there because I could be wrong. It's like knowing that you can be, it's like going into a conversation, even if I got the facts and I Googled it, I know that I could be wrong. So I'm still open to, okay, I was wrong on that.
Yeah.
Fuck me, because I was wrong on that. Forget what I said.
Pause.
You know what I mean? Pause, literally. That's pretty much what it is. I know I could be wrong about the worst scenario. So it's not so much that I'm just focusing on the bad. See, I know the bad could happen. I know the good could happen, but let me prepare myself for the bad. The bad's not happening, I'm good. Let's keep on moving.
Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying.
I had a thing where I was always ready for people to walk out of my life. At any point.
To this day?
So I made it a point to be like, if you're going to walk that door, I won't stop you. Because, bitch, I can't. Right?
Still.
There's a door.
Yeah.
So the moment I got the feeling that someone wanted to bail, I was like, let me open the door for you. Okay? Rather than try to talk to them. I'm like, let me get the door for you. So the door is right there. And it fucked with a lot of people I dated because they were like, how are you okay with this? It's like, I'm already ready for you to leave at any point. I've already accepted that you probably will. So if you are going to leave, if you're giving me the vibe that you're trying to quit, let me write your resignation letter.
The thing that
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so it's a self-defense mechanism that helped me insulate myself from a lot of bad experiences. But it also stopped me from inquiring about why they were walking out the door most of the times, or to self-examine. Great for preserving myself, terrible for relationship dynamics.
Definitely. But the thing that happened is that the way I see it, we have the same, for that we have something that's very similar. I mean, it's really about death.
Go for it.
Dealing with death a lot. That's a certainty in life. Death. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Inevitable. So me, it's not so much people walking away. Me, it's people dying. So when I meet you, I already mourned you. Everybody that's around me.
Explain.
I mourned them. I already know that they're going to die. They're going to leave. That's anybody. My family, my friends, my wife, I know they're going to leave. I know they're going to die.
So you're ready for their death?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not. And I remember we had this conversation, and they're like, "Okay, you telling me that if your sister or if you blah blah whatever, knock on wood, they're gonna die. You're not gonna say." I'm like, I might have a different way of viewing it. Yeah, because some people left, and I was like, as expected, and that's inevitable. Them leaving on their way, walking the door, not so much. And the thing, because death is so, I'm gonna live my best life. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna live my best life.
How do you mourn them? What is it? Because mourning is, how do I explain the idea of mourning? Mourning is coming to terms with all the things that you are missing now.
Yeah. So what happened?
Yes.
What happened is that everything that's happening, I live it fully. I live it now. I live it then. I'm not gonna, when I eat with my wife, I put my phone on the side, because at some point that's not gonna happen anymore. So I enjoy that. Motherfuckers ask me, "Yo, what's your favorite food?" I don't have a favorite food. The food is not important. The food is just a vessel to a good time with people that I love. I don't have a favorite alcohol because it depends on the moment. It's the moment that I pass. So it's really just, so when I say mourn, it's not so much mourn. It's really just more enjoying. When I go on trips, I don't take pictures.
Yeah, you're eliminating the ability to have regrets by being present and being open with the people that matter.
Exactly. So if and that's the way I mourn. It's like I'm there. If I gave you my time, like I'm giving you my time, like we spend time together, time is the most valuable shit that I have in my life.
Okay.
If I'm giving you my time and I'm there and we talking, or we're not talking, because we don't even need to talk. We're in each other's presence and it's good to be there. I'm enjoying that moment. And just being there, that is me mourning, for lack of a better word. But basically it's that. So that's why whenever that's the reason why whenever I go to my parents' house and they're like, when they talk about, as soon as they talk about, you don't come and see me no more, and I'm like, you're gonna talk about when I'm not there, when I'm there. We could be spending our time doing better shit. You could be cooking, I could be eating. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Are there conversations that you think you should have had with loved ones that you haven't yet had?
Yes, and that's the reason why I speak the way I do. You ever notice I'm really fucking straightforward? I'm abrupt sometimes.
Yes.
I don't want to waste time.
Yeah, one thing you've told me that stuck with me is you hate taboos.
I hate taboos.
Gotta remember.
So we're gonna have this whole taboo and I didn't really know what happened? No, there's some shit here. Yeah. And that's actually why this thing right here that we have is working, because like, okay, so what's this shit now?
Oh yeah, our problems we aired out. I got no problems.
Because we ain't got no time for that shit. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then let's imagine some shit happen, I have some grudge. No, I need to talk to you. I'm gonna talk to you. If I have a feeling I can't talk, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna be like, okay, that's dead. Moving on. You understand? It's gonna hurt. Even with my friends, I know I can detach myself easily from friends, and it's really hard for the people that I love, because sometimes they feel like there's no connection. I understand that, and I'm working on that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No.
But I feel like they feel sometimes that there's a lack of connection, because I can be like, okay, cool. You don't want to be there. You don't listen, or I'm gonna think something that is better for me. Let's say if I have some friends and there's some toxic shit, I'm gonna be like, listen, that's not what I'm trying to have right now. That's not a relationship I'm gonna try right now, and I don't even want to hate you. So I'm gonna kill the relationship in order not to hate you. You go over there, you think it through. You can come back, but we gotta do something about that. After talking, I do talk.
Yeah, I've accepted that I haven't had conversations with people that I probably should, and that I'm likely not gonna have it before they die. And I'm going to mourn the fact that we never got to speak. Now, people watching might be like, but why don't you have those conversations? Because sometimes those conversations are impossible to have.
The conversation takes
And I can
people.
say this now as a 31-year-old man. I have to think about that for a second. 31. Because in my younger years, these things didn't even cross my mind. If someone was like, fuck you, I was like, fuck you, and I was never going to open that door. Now I'm much more open to forgiveness and, bridging that gap and making that conversation happen. Sometimes it's tough because so many years have gone by. It's like, how do we even find a common ground? How do I even start this? I had somebody try to start that bridge with me, and I felt uneasy because I'm like, it's been 9 years. I have no idea how to respond to you, right? So I've already accepted the idea that there's going to be things I'm going to have to mourn. But I'd like to be able to fix at some point. But it's possible that I won't. There's already things that I'll never be able to have a conversation about. People in my life who've died, and we're never going to get to have those conversations. So there's mourning that. But there's also just the mourning of like, yes, I'm present with you now, and yes, I understand you're going to die. But I also would like if you could be here for this. Or I would like if you could be there for that. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, like, let's say you have kids, but your parents are no longer around. Yeah. That's something that even if you mourn it now, you go mourn afterwards too.
Sure.
You know, the mourning is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing. Sometimes you mourn people while they're alive.
Definitely. Yeah.
You know,
That's
something my psychiatrist said that was really fucked up. He said, you haven't mourned what you've already missed with the people who are still around. Take your childhood. Maybe some of y'all never had a childhood. Your parents just made you an adult early on. Well, there's a mourning of a childhood that you never had that you might need to do. Now, some of you might be like, what's the point? You can't change it. Like, just because you can't change it doesn't mean you shouldn't have to look at those emotions and understand where they're from. And understand that just because you buried them deep doesn't mean they're dead. They're just under a lot of dirt. Okay? So, it's a whole interesting concept. But, yeah, we can go for days on that.
Yeah, we can. That's what I mean by mourning, basically.
It's interesting. I like that. Yeah. When it comes to undoing, like, because you and I come from different backgrounds, but I think there's a certain level of understanding. Is yeah, when you deal with trauma or violence or whatever it might be, you build certain habits, and you carry them on even when you're no longer in those environments. And sometimes it's good to look at those and be like, is there something I need to let go or undo, right? Just because it served me then doesn't mean it serves me today. The same way, just because violence may have been useful in your teen years doesn't mean you should keep being violent in your adult years, right? There's sometimes a period where you need to let habits go. So just be mindful of that and think about that, I guess. Anything else?
No.
All right.